Hey everyone, Tyler Garcia, nationally certified mortgage loan originator and a creator of Homeowner Hustle. Today we're going to talk about how credit scores are calculated and the specifics behind it. When we're talking about a credit score, we're talking about essentially 5 different factors that play into that credit score. Now, there's over 30 different little tiny things that play into these individual factors that we won't go over today because that would be a really long, boring video. But we're just going to go over kind of the outline, overlaying look of what factors into calculating your credit score. The first factor and largest factor that plays into your credit score, it plays 35%, over a third of your credit score, is based on your payment history. And when I talk about payment history, I'm talking about paying your bills on time. So creditors have a choice to essentially record different kinds of late payments. There's 30-day lates, 60-day lates, and 90-day lates. All of those things will show up on a credit report. And unless you're 30 days late, 60 days late, or 90 days late, nothing is really going to show up on your credit report. So if you were a couple weeks late back in last July because, your boss forgot to pay you or, something happened like that, don't worry about it. There's nothing like that's going to show up or affect your credit score too much. The second factor, and the second largest factor that plays into your credit score, it actually plays 30% into your credit score, so almost exactly 1/3. So between the first two factors, you're actually looking at 2/3 of your credit score right there. And that's actually going to be your balances versus your limits. So when we say balances versus limits, we mean your credit account will likely have a larger limit than you have charged up on it. The amount that you have charged up on it is what's called the balance. The limit is the limit. So if your credit limit is maxed out on all of your credit cards, that doesn't look very good to creditors. Creditors want to see that you have your financial situation managed correctly. So they don't want to see you go and get a credit card and charge it up all the way. The most they really want to see you charge it up is to about 30%. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't charge it beyond that, but at the end of the month, when your payment is due, when they go and re-look at your account, they're going to want to see that that account is paid below 30%. And in most cases, most people will see more benefit if they have those balances below 10%. The third most important and largest factor that plays into your credit score, it accounts for 15% of the credit score, is going to be the age of your accounts. So what I mean by that is how long have you actually had credit open, and not just credit in general, but specific accounts. So if you've had a credit card open since you were 18 years old and now you're 30, that's great. That's a ton of credit history to factor into this particular part of the credit score. If you've never had a credit card and you're 35 years old, there's no credit history to go off of, then that tends to be an issue, and there will likely be no credit score that will report if you don't have any kind of credit accounts with any kind of age on them. Most credit companies want to see a card open longer than a year and paid on time for longer than a year. The next factor that plays into your credit score is going to be the type of accounts that you have, and it actually plays into 10% of your credit score. So what I mean by that is having a good blend of credit cards, installment loans, auto loans, a mortgage, anything like that. So having a good blend of these credit accounts is going to increase your score and show the creditors that you are financially responsible on more than just, say, paying a credit card back, but you can also pay a credit card while paying a car payment while paying on your house. This shows extreme financial responsibility and will increase your score. The fifth and final factor that plays into your credit score is going to be inquiries. So a lot of people think that having too many inquiries is going to really damage your credit score. And this is actually the smallest piece of your credit score. So it's only worth about 10%, similar to the type of accounts. So what I tell people is don't get too caught up on worrying about somebody pulling your credit, because it's not necessarily always the worst thing in the world. There are two different types of inquiries. There are hard inquiries and there are soft inquiries. if somebody's going to do a soft inquiry on you, there is almost a 0% chance that that is going to have any kind of effect on your credit score. Okay, now if somebody does a hard inquiry on you, again, there is also almost a 0% chance that that is going to affect your credit score. However, if you do decide to go and shop around a lot and say you shop 5 different places for the same kind of loan and they all do a hard inquiry on you, yes, your credit score is going to see a small decline because you did have so many hard inquiries in a short period of time. That doesn't look good to creditors. It makes it seem like you're going out there looking for a ton of different accounts when you may be financially capable of providing it on your own. So it's just one of those things that it's not a gigantic deal, but it definitely does play a factor into your credit score. So I hope this was helpful. These are the 5 different factors that play into your credit score with a little bit of a conversation as to how it plays into your credit score and why. So if you did have any more questions on that, feel free to reach out. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.